Hey, welcome to the 2023 Blade Show. As always, I'm Greg Blythe, and it's the morning. And we had a crazy night, if you didn't see, with Ryan Swanson and Hap Stanley at dinner. And let's just say that there were some fermented beverages that were served at that. But we're starting today with Bill Tice of Tice Knives, and he is not only a culinary guy, he's got some other interesting stuff here at the Blade Show. But we're going to let the man himself show you what he has brought. Beautiful stuff. Go ahead, sir, and let it tell us what we got here today at the Blade Show.
First off, thank you, Greg. Thank you very much. My culinary stuff is, I think, user-friendly. That's the main thing for me. I have to make a knife that the customer enjoys using and the customer can maintain. So what I like carbon steel, of course, but to make it easy for the customer, I like to do a patina on it. It's nice and easy to maintain. The carbon steel is beautifully sharp. And you can have some fun and interesting patterns with it.
Just to point out, if they're carbon steel, they do get a patina?
They do get a patina, so this will patina even more, and the pattern will be the basis for the patina. It can, of course, be changed with just a simple session with some Scotch-Brite, and it's done with mustard. This simple thing with mustard. This is done with mustard and a ruler. Just sit it on there for about 10 minutes, scrape it off, do another layer, and it starts to give a three-dimensional aspect to it that really kind of draws you in. Just, I think, makes it a little more fun as well to use.
Is there a particular carbon steel that you specialize in?
I like 52100 for the kitchen knives, and also for the kitchen knives for stainless, I like AEBL and Nitro V. That's not to say I don't use other things. My butchering cleavers, which are quite thick, hefty. This is made of S7 steel, which is a shock steel, and S7 in particular is used in jackhammer bits. So it is tough. But in all seriousness, it's still easy to sharpen. Yeah, it's a beast.
That is a chopper.
So here we have a little more of a high-end piece. This is San Mai, made from the New Jersey Steel Baron, 52100 core, 410 stainless outside with the forged finish. Have a nice olive wood handle, textured ferrule in the front. It's a model I call my prep monster because it is a beast.
That is a beast.
And it's one of the first kitchen knives I made. I went to visit Joel at Cut Brooklyn, who is like an icon in Brooklyn making kitchen knives.
Okay.
If you've heard of him. And I had to come out big. So I came out big for him, and it started me on this journey because for years I made Bowie knives that were collectibles.
Okay. Wow, what a transition.
I got zero feedback from my customers other than, say the knife looked good under the lights in this stand at home. So the first year I switched to kitchen knives, the first kitchen knife I sold at a table was a cleaver, and that gentleman came back every year and told me how much fun it was to use that knife. Fun was the word. And I told him I could pack up the show and go home right now because that's what I realized I've been looking for 20 years.
So I want to point out something myself, that even though you're an American knife maker, I collect mostly Japanese knives, and I see this Japanese influence.
Oh yes, Japanese influence.
But I see we're standing on it. What it is.
Okay.
It's okay. It's okay. It happens. It happens. We got stuff going on. So I love the Kuritsuke Tsujihiki down here. I love the big kind of monster bulldog Kuritsuke Gyuto. But Michelle, when we segue down here, I'm gonna ask my wife which one, if she had to pick one, does she think is the one that's me?
That's you.
There's one that's in particularly me.
Depends on your mood.
Depends on the mood, huh?
Point at one and just say, this would be the one my husband would get. Come on, show the audience. It doesn't matter if you're wrong or right. Just go ahead.
Well, I mean,
just pick one.
I can't.
Well, let me show you one then.
One of these.
There's something I haven't showed you.
In the region.
It's one of these.
Okay, now narrow it down.
I can't.
This one's me.
That one's him.
Okay.
It's got a little spice.
I love this. I love the tonal change. I love the, I'm a little simpler than people think, but I love the beautiful texture. It's also quiet. The handle's not too big. I feel like I could hold it easily with a pinch grip.
And it's light as heck.
It's just nice. I mean, it's just beautiful.
Thank you. That's such a beautiful compliment. So like I said, I do use other steels. This one here is S35 VN, flat ground on one side, hollow ground on the other.
Okay, wow.
Now watch this. Watch the edge just deflect from my nail.
Wow, that is thin.
So if you're not going thin, get out of town.
That is thin. So it has that little bit of the Yanagaba feel that it's hollow on the back.
Oh,
it has an Ura side, not quite as dished out as we're used to, but they're definitely evident for the food release.
The lessons in the Japanese knives are all about keeping the food, like say you're cutting a roast beef, keeping the juice inside the roast, because when you crush it with the knife, all the flavor just is squeezed out.
Cell integrity is so important that people don't understand that a sharp knife keeps the flavor in the food, doesn't destroy the cell. And you know, Bob Kramer was talking about if you slice an apple and you're crushing cells, the apple oxidizes.
Yes.
And if you want to see it not turn brown, have a sharp knife, and the apple won't change color because you're not destroying cells. You're not releasing the acidity and having the reaction on the knife. So I never even thought about it like that. Let's segue from your culinary into, we have some tactical. We have the, I'm going to say this wrong. Is that a karambit?
It's a karambit. It's a karambit.
Okay.
And the reason I have some sort of tactical, I did have military service, and when I came out, that was really my first direction. Was big honking military knives, because this is what I was familiar with. So even though I've transitioned kind of completely to kitchen knives, I still have to make other things.
Sure.
And every once in a while, you have to make something that's, I'll say, ridiculous, like a karambit, but you have to get it out of your system as a maker.
Can you tell everybody if they want to get in touch with you to get a knife made or to purchase something they've seen at the show? How are we going to get in touch with you? Is it social media only?
Social media only. Once we communicate, though, I'll give out my phone number. It's become too big of a world, to just hand out my phone number. But once I start touching base with people and seeing that they're really interested in what I do, then we open the corridor and just start talking on the phone.
So we have a gallery of these knives on Instagram. And what is the Instagram address? Like, how are we going to find you? Tice Knives?
Bill Tice Knives Studio, and there's an underscore between each of the words.
Okay, and Tice is spelled very unique in case you don't see it on his badge.
Yes.
There's the address right there. Got it.
All right, and I do just have to ask as I see it, this is a functional bush knife slash
zombie killer. Because everybody who makes knives has to make a zombie killer at some point.
We have a carbon steel Damascus, mustard patina.
It's an A2 blade. Most of my military style knives are A2. It's a steel I believe in. It's a nice tough tool steel. And these are patinaed, yes, with the mustard. This one I do with a paracord. I wrap the thing with paracord, rub the mustard on, take the paracord off, and it gives it what I call my barbed wire finish. This is just done with a finger. Very easy to maintain. And that's pretty much it.
I appreciate your time. Is this your first time at Blade Show? Do you come every year?
This is my first time in like 10 years.
Okay. What brought you back?
I love knives, and it was the time. I'm retired from the post office now, and we just moved, and I got a great shop, and I'm just cranking out knives. Waterbury, Connecticut.
Oh wow! So you made the trip. You drove down.
I drove down with the New Jersey Steel Baron crew. So
These guys are getting crazy at night.
Yeah.
But he managed to get up today. We appreciate your time. This is definitely not a dull moment. Thank you so much for sharing it with us. 2023 Blade Show. Stay tuned for more content.
Thank you for everything.
All right, brother.